Intelligence Part 2. This video starts off as a continuation to a previous lecture in intelligence, on intelligence, a lecture on. From the beginning, this part of, you need a comma here, from the beginning, this part of the lecture is interesting from the point of view of individual differences. The professor explains that differential job, lifestyle, life and academic success between individuals could be and is at least partially due to measures in intelligence. Okay, the professor explains that differential job, no. Differences in job, life and academic success, that the differences in job, life and academic success between individuals could be and is so, could be and are at least partially due to measures of intelligence, correlations of, okay. The lecture gets more interesting when Spearman's G factor comes up and is compared to Thurstone's diverse concept of intelligence. It is intriguing to realize that individual differences between researchers and their concept of intelligence can be found. It is intriguing to realize that individual differences between researchers and their, I probably would add and their concepts of intelligence, but concept's not wrong, can be found. Here, basic concepts and theories of intelligence are clearly explained. Concepts that have been of prior importance in the curricula of our differential psychology course. I think in the curricula plural, I think I would just put in the curriculum because it's differential psychology course, it's one course. Spearman's positive manifold is stated as a general pattern of cognitive abilities. Okay, it's stated as a general pattern of cognitive abilities manifested in positive correlations between scores in different cognitive ability tests. Yeah, it's okay. Let me read it again though. Spearman's positive manifold is stated as a general pattern of cognitive abilities. Okay, it's stated, well, is stated as, let's try, is, I like this phrasal verb, set down as, was defined as a general pattern of cognitive abilities manifested in positive correlations between scores in different cognitive ability tests. Let's use this word different and write various. This has been found to be evidence for general intelligence. This has been found to be evidence, to be proof for general intelligence. Yes, this is found. This is yeah. Okay, this is found to be evidence. This has been given. I need to spell as well. Given as proof of the concept of general. For general. So this has been given as proof of the concept of general intelligence. Usually this means that someone who is good in one sort of test, good in, I prefer good at, I know the Americans like this good in, but I'm going to go good at one sort of tests, a good one will tend to be good in the others. I think we're just going to lose the here in others and vice versa. Um, positive positive manifold is a pattern that is applied to a group, not to an individual, because a correlation for an individual is meaningless. Okay, positive manifold. I think I probably want a capital M on this. Manifold is a pattern that is applied to a group, not to the individual, not to an individual. This is because a correlation for an individual is meaningless. However, nobody has a flat profile. Everyone has an irregular profile. What can we do about this profile? Okay, however, nobody has a flat profile. Everyone has an irregular distribution of abilities. The most arousing part of the lecture, I think arousing's not really the word here. I think I would prefer the word stimulating, because otherwise it sounds like sexual arousal. The most stimulating part of the lecture comes when Professor Michael explains Carroll's theory of intelligence and specifies what fluid and crystalline intelligence is. Professor and students, so we need a "the" here. The professor and students suddenly engage, this "the" can be for both words, suddenly engage in a discussion about individual differences in these factors. The professor makes the students think about people they know who have uneven profile, high crystallized. So instead of this high crystallized, highly, using the adverb to describe the adjective, highly crystallized, low fluid, low, yeah, and then I need an adverb here as well. I would say low fluidity, but so low fluid, I'm going to leave high crystalline, low fluid. I can't put lowly fluid because lowly means unimportant. So high crystallized, low fluid, and high fluid, low crystallized. Even though he insists that these sorts of cognitive patterns exist, generally positive manifold is true for the bigger group. Yeah, for the bigger group. What do you mean by the bigger group here? Okay, the professor makes the students think about people they know who have uneven profiles, high crystallized, low fluid, and high fluid. Even though he insists that these sorts of cognitive patterns exist, generally positive manifold is true for the whole group, or for the wider group, for the whole group, for the wider group. I think the whole group. A student implies that fluid and crystallized intelligence can change throughout the years. Throughout the years. I don't like this because you're saying no, can change throughout the years. You see, throughout the year, different seasons. And I think what you mean can change as we get older. So intelligence is not a status quo in life. It can change. Here, a status quo. So intelligence is not a status quo, is not the status quo in life. Wait, look at that VIR instead of THE. Yeah, is not the status quo in life. It can change. The professor informs us about. I think I prefer of the tendency of crystallized intelligence to raise. No, because the intelligence can't raise. It needs to rise, because when you raise, you have control. Here, the crystallized intelligence is the subject. It doesn't raise, it rises through life. Okay. The older we are, the smarter we are. On the other hand, in fluid intelligence, has a rising adaptability until the age of, uh, uh, until the age of 22 to 30. Uh, you see, until the age of 22, yeah, but then to 30, until 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 yes, until we reach the age of reach an age from 20, okay, until we reach an age that ranges, that's better, from 22 to 30, after which comes a slow decline. Okay, yeah, this is very Spanglish. After which a slow decline comes, which a slow decline, huh, after which, oh yes, sorry, there is the onset of a slow decline. However, you've used this too much. Um, so, so we, uh, we should. I want to get out this higher. We should. We should bear in mind, though, that this is the general pattern, comma. It is absolutely possible for an individual to be gaining in fluid intelligence, to be gaining all of his life. You see, to be gaining is temporary, and all of his life is permanent. So, for an individual to gain, we need a present simple. Fluid intelligence, all to gain fluid intelligence, uh, all his life, um, throughout, uh, uh, throughout his life, throughout his. Okay, we should bear in mind that this is the general pattern. It's absolutely possible for an individual to gain fluid intelligence throughout their life. Okay, this depends on if, no. Okay, this depends on if these changes are due to organical or experimental factors. This depends on whether these changes are due to, let's change this, the result of organical, organic, organic or experimental factors. Okay. A really interesting example that shows individual differences in fluid and crystallized intelligence is given by the professor. What happens when the workforce is older in some countries and younger in others? Which countries would have the greater cognitive advantage? The younger workforce is better in fluid intelligence. Is better in. I'm going to leave that in. Is better in fluid intelligence. So this implies that they have more capability of innovation. They have more capability of innovation. I think more. I'm going to change this and just make it more capacity to innovate. Okay. While the older workforce would have less capacity to innovate and would be less competitive because of a potential weakness, oh, I love this spelling, weak, not weakness, in fluid intelligence. Part 4. This part of the lecture is interesting because of, so, yeah, I used your YouTube. Interesting because of the conclusion. I'm going to leave it. Professor Michael concludes, so you can't do because of the conclusion. Professor Michael concludes with various fascinating statements about individual differences in intelligence, such as theories and tests of intelligence explain variation in success. Variation in experience influences developed intelligence. Okay, I wanted to lose this double conclusion. So this part of the lecture is interesting because of the conclusion, so the way it ends. And let's do something about it. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, because of the way it ends. It'll do. Okay, and then I've just read this bit. So, conclusion about why this lecture has been chosen. The lecture describes clearly the matter at hand. The speaker explains himself well, and the class interaction provides feedback to his information. What a lovely sentence. The information given by this lecture, given in this lecture by this lecturer, is pertinent to the topic studied in class during the course, that being individual differences in intelligence. This has been thoroughly justified above. This lecture provides the deserved legitimacy to the construct of intelligence. Deserved legitimacy. The lecture provides the deserved. Why is it deserved? Because people don't. Okay, this lecture provides legitimacy. Okay. Provides the legit. I wanted this deserved. This lecture provides the legitimacy to the construct of intelligence that it truly deserves. There you go, I've got it. This lecture provides the legitimacy to the construct of intelligence that it truly deserves. Well, I need to spell properly, but apart from that, T-R-U-L-Y, that it truly deserves. So, the listener will be prepared to break a spear in the name of the existence of the subject, of the subjective construct that intelligence represents. So, the listener will be prepared to break a spear. I love this. Be brave. To break a spear, yes, to go to war, in the name of the existence of the subjective construct that intelligence represents. Wow, that's quite something. It's quite a lot. Okay, I hope it's helped. I'd love to hear some comments from other students. So, bye for now.